February 3rd, 1959, the day the music died. Or did it? That night, three voices were supposed to vanish from the world: Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, and the Big Bopper. But what if the plane never took off? What if fate gave them one more sunrise? Would Buddy rival Elvis? Would Ritchie redefine Latino music forever? Would the Beatles still break through? Would the very sound of the 60s change? This isn't just a what if. It's a blueprint of the music that could have been. Because in this version of history, the music never died. February 3rd, 1959, the date that became legend. The day the music died, Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, the Big Bopper, all gone in one frozen instant over Clear Lake, Iowa. A plane crash that robbed the world of three voices just as they were beginning to shape an era. But what if the plane never took off? What if they survived? Would rock and roll sound different? Would the Beatles still rise? Would the 60s even happen the way we remember them? Let's find out what the world might have looked like if the day the music died didn't. February 3rd, 1959, Clear Lake, Iowa. A snowstorm grounds a small Beechcraft bonanza. Buddy Holly, frustrated, books a hotel for his band instead. Ritchie Valens flips a coin with Tommy Allsup and loses. The Big Bopper, sick with the flu, reluctantly agrees to stay on the tour bus. Their lives continue. Buddy Holly, age 22, returns home to his pregnant wife, Maria Elena. He begins writing a more mature orchestral album inspired by recent Elvis ballads and Latin sounds he'd picked up in NYC. Ritchie Valens, age 17, signs a longer-term deal with Delphi and begins exploring bilingual recordings. He eyes future collaborations with Tito Puente and a young Carlos Santana. The Big Bopper, J.P. Richardson, age 28, returns to radio but also gets serious about television, envisioning a variety show built around music, comedy, and guest appearances. Buddy Holly, the architect of modern rock. At age 25, 1962, Buddy releases Electric Blue, a folk rock fusion album with jangly guitars and introspective lyrics. It influences a young Bob Dylan and inspires Roger McGuinn of the Byrds. In 1963, the Beatles, already fans of Buddy, reference him as their greatest influence. John Lennon even collaborates with Holly during a UK tour in 1964. Buddy's songwriting becomes more political. By 1965, he's penning protest songs, subtle critiques of segregation in Vietnam. Ritchie Valens, the father of Chicano Rock. Ritchie's style matures, from La Bamba to socially conscious Latin rock. His 1964 hit Barrio Soul blends mariachi horns with surf guitar. It charts on both English and Spanish radio, a first. He mentors a young Carlos Santana, then 18, helping him land a record deal. Chicano Rock becomes a movement, blending identity, resistance, and joy. The Big Bopper, the first music TV mogul. Bop Stop, his 1962 nationally syndicated music comedy show, becomes a proving ground for emerging black artists and women in rock. He controversially books a 14-year-old Aretha Franklin and defends the move publicly. He also gives a platform to Motown acts before Dick Clark catches on. 1966, Buddy Holly, age 30, performs at the Newport Folk Festival, blending country twang with protest lyrics. He collaborates with Nina Simone on Mississippi Shadows. Ritchie Valens, now 25, forms Los Hijos, a Latin supergroup with Santana and Ruben Blades. They protest the Vietnam War, perform at Cesar Chavez rallies, and headline Woodstock in 1969. The Big Bopper begins to fall out of fashion, but transitions into producing. He funds the first all-female rock band led by a black guitarist. A Rolling Stone expose reveals he quietly supported civil rights causes and paid for the legal defense of jailed musicians. Buddy Holly turns down Woodstock. but writes Flower to Flame, a Vietnam protest song that becomes an anthem. Buddy Holly, 1981, age 45, dies of a heart attack. His memorial draws stars from Elvis to Lennon. He's remembered not just as a rock star, but as a songwriter. Ritchie Valens, 1989, age 47, killed in a car crash in Mexico. His funeral becomes a national event. La Bamba plays across radio stations from Los Angeles to Tijuana to Madrid. The Big Bopper, 1977, age 46, dies peacefully in his sleep after retiring from public life. Later rediscovered by hip-hop DJs who sample his comedic monologues. 3 lives spared by a grounded plane. 3 men who shaped not just a sound, but a movement. Buddy Holly, the architect. Ritchie Valens, the bridge between worlds. The Big Bopper, the unlikely kingmaker. And in this timeline, they didn't just survive, they thrived. So next time you hear a riff, a protest song, a bilingual ballad, listen closely, because in this version of history, the music never died.